You know, Oakland's a really diverse place, and there's rich people and poor people living in close vicinity to each other.
It's one of the most diverse places in the world. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. There's an incredible history of struggle here, and we really should be the laboratory for, you know, how we create a good society. We should be doing groundbreaking stuff.
I think for certain communities, there's always been a recession, and so it might be even harder than it was now, but even at a prosperous time, I think part of the reason we started EBASE was that the benefits of that prosperity weren't coming down to the people that were working.
EBASE was birthed by and housed in the Hotel and Restaurant Workers Union. What it had was just sort of scrappy, get it done, fighting spirit.
New World Foundation gave us money, and Lane gave advice.
We were inspired by movements like the Civil Rights Movement and the American Civil Rights Movement and the movement that brought down apartheid in South Africa.
One of the campaigns that we were supporting was the hotel workers fight at that time, the Berkeley Radisson. Through the course of the campaign, one of the things that happened was that the immigrant workers began to be attacked. What was so amazing to witness was that under normal circumstances, there are sometimes tensions between the different racial groups within a workplace, right? And particularly African American folks and immigrant Latino folks. But in this particular instance, the workers realized that an attack on the immigrant workers was also an attack on the African American workers. In that campaign in particular, the housekeepers really played a key role in pushing people to give up their fears and to stand for what was right. And so Miss Addie just really personified all of that. Miss Addie was in her early 70s, older African American woman from East Oakland who had been working at the Berkeley Radisson for 20 plus years. To me, that was just really at the center of what this work is about. It's really amazing. That's where the work is really the most interesting, is like, how do you bring people together who, you know, and unite them around a common vision despite the differences we may have. And that's what really EBASE is about. A lot of the workers who we're fighting for ultimately are also deeply religious and spiritual, and so to have faith leaders out there when workers are taking just tremendous risks is really critical. We were working to build the Interfaith Committee for Worker Justice. Pastor Lucy was there from the very early days. A small but amazing group of people came together to organize that group, including Father Bill O'Donnell.
Father Bill was an amazing person. He's a priest at St. Joseph's the Worker Church in Berkeley. From day one, he was there at everything. He's just a wonderful, wonderful man. He had a very important role with EBASE early on. Helped us move forward.
EBASE and the Interfaith Committee for Worker Justice, they're really creating the next generation of Father Bills, people who are going to be there for every struggle.
The thing for me that really continues to feed my own inspiration and willingness to do the work is seeing the generations of leaders who have came through EBASE. They weren't leaders when they started, but they very soon became leaders.
Emeryville was playing this major role in the regional economy, and low-wage workers and low-income residents weren't necessarily receiving benefits. And to watch the progression from that to a hard-fought ballot initiative to do a living wage at the hotels, which developed this amazing group of worker leaders.
This person who decided to buck the law and buck us picked a fight that I think EBASE turned into a very strategic fight. And it was, we were able to do that fight because of the groundwork of the Immigrant Workers Freedom Ride and other stuff, but it moved our whole immigration fight forward by taking that fight and being there one day longer than the boss.
With enough dedication, with enough perseverance, with enough, refusal to quit and give up, and an insistence on sort of putting everything on the table to win victory against overwhelming odds.
The port is the largest economic engine in the East Bay. If we can change it, we can change the whole region.
Jobs is such a critical question. If you look at something like the port, there's just tremendous opportunity. But the question is, how is that going to be done? And I think EBASE can play a critical role in making sure that we create jobs, good jobs, and family-sustaining jobs, and jobs that provide people a light at the end of the tunnel.
So to watch as we go from the fight for the project labor agreement to the fight to win living wage and labor standards ballot initiative for the port, and now to watch how that work has matured in the campaign for clean and safe ports. And you really see, everyone from large labor unions to relatively small community-based institutions to public health organizations to national environmental groups who've come together around this common goal of cleaning up the trucking industry and creating good jobs and cleaner neighborhoods. It's been really an inspiring trajectory.
We can change the East Bay. I think that should be the vision of EBASE, is to change the East Bay. We have raised standards for hundreds and thousands of workers just in Oakland here and across the country. The work that we do and people who are emulating what EBASE does.
A small group of people that talks to a larger group of people can actually influence how all of this turns out. And I think that's what this work is about. And the thing that's kept me here is seeing people do that over and over again. Seeing people learn how powerful they really are, and witnessing themselves being able to actually impact things that they didn't think they could before.
Going up against some of the most powerful corporations and government agencies and in the region with just a handful of scrappy people and whatever resources we can cobble together, it requires everything from you, and you grow tremendously as a result. It's a set of experiences I could never have had anywhere else except working with this organization, and I'm super grateful to have had them.